Vinny, I think we can hear you loud and clear. If you would like to, let me just check. Yeah, Vinny, do you want to just say hello to check we can hear you?
Hello, you can hear me, mate.
Perfect. You've got the first two questions, Vinny, and then we'll go around.
Sound. Hi, Jurgen.
Hi, Vinny.
Is this a situation when you're trailing by 2 goals where you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, and that can work in your favour on the night?
When you're 3-1 down, it looks like you're already out. That means you have not a lot to lose, let me say it like this. And yeah, so we will give it a try. I think that's the job we have to do, and that's exactly how we will go for it, if you want. It's a result which showed the result of the performances of the night. They were better than us. We were not as good as we should have been or could have been. But it's the first half of the leg, and so, yeah, that's it.
You spoke also last week about creating your own atmosphere at Anfield. So what is the key to that?
Oh, we have to, because everybody now, it's not the first interview I have obviously today, and everybody's about our comebacks in the past and was with supporters and stuff like this. That's true, but that's a lot of problems we have, or we will face before we have even a chance to win that game. And that's actually the idea, that we try to win the football game tomorrow night. It's just one extra problem. No supporters in the stadium. So the result is a problem, the quality of the opponent is a problem, and then obviously that the stadium is empty is a problem as well. So now I can hear me twice, that's great.
Sorry, it's okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Good, okay, finished, yeah. Vinny, we'll go to Sam Ashoot from PLP for one, and then we'll go around.
Hi, Jurgen, nice to see you. Just a quick one on Trent Alexander-Arnold, if you don't mind. It's pretty clear that he's been working extra hard over the past couple of weeks. Is that what separates the world-class players from the rest? The ability to raise your game, raise your standards after a setback?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, actually, what you always expect from each player. But look, it's a little bit a problem for me to answer the question, because it always looks like he didn't play well before. And I really don't. We don't play a brilliant season. We know that so far. But Trent had a difficult start from a specific moment. He played a really good season. Did he play exactly as good as he could have played or played in the past? Stuff like this, I don't even know 100%. But then it started a discussion, and it raised his game after that. He had assists for us before that. Yes, it's a special situation. He reacted really well, and that's important. But it's not that he was in a dark place and had to lift himself out of that. He just didn't get selected for England. That was all.
Okay, thank you, Sam. We will go to Ian Kennedy from the BBC, and then James from TalkSport. Ian.
Hi, Jurgen.
Hi.
Jurgen, you've been in this situation before, obviously, and I know other games are in the past now, and people will reference the Barcelona game, for example, but is there anything that you yourself would go back to in terms of the run-up to that game, something maybe that you said in the dressing room before the game that can be useful for this game?
Oh, much more than the Barcelona game is useful, we'll see. But we played years ago, I don't even know when it was, but with Dortmund against Madrid. We lost at Madrid 3-0. We played not good. Madrid was clear better that night. German journalists asked me afterward if it's gone already, and I had to say, probably, but what shall we do? We have to play the second leg as well. So that was the situation. After 37 minutes in the next game, we were 2-0 up. It stayed with 2-0, by the way. So we didn't go through. But football is football, we all know that, and there are a lot of things possible. But first and foremost, I understand that we speak now about result, obviously, but for me it's only much more important is the performance. We have to play like ourselves. We have to play as good as we can. We have to try to win that game, and just that. And then we will see what the result where the result leads us to. So winning 1-0 would mean whenever we score that goal, we have a minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes time to try to get the second goal and all these kind of things. But and for that you have to really, and that's really important with the quality Madrid has. You have to defend on your absolute highest level, what we didn't do the other night, and that's why this is as important as the other things. It's about winning football games always, and that's the target for tomorrow night. If that will end up in a comeback or not, I have no idea, but I never had before. It's just we have to bring ourselves in a mood that we start believing in that again. If that happens, if we can see it, that it's possible until tomorrow night, then we have a chance, but it's still incredibly difficult.
Okay, just before we go to James from TalkSport and then Carl from the Press Association, we're having a few issues, I think, with simultaneous translation here, so apologies for that. I've noticed I've got Diego and Elias on. If you're able to ask your questions in English, even if it's difficult, then if we can do that, that would be great. If not, we'll see if we can sort it out.
If they understood what you said, they can ask a question in English.
Indeed,
100%.
we'll come to you. But we'll go to James from TalkSport first.
Can you ask your question?
Yes, it's fine. Go on.
Jurgen, we know that a 2-0 victory would suffice tomorrow night. And does the state of the tie affect the way you approach the game? Or from what you're saying there, you almost do have to approach it as if it's 0-0. And how important is that clean sheet going to be?
Yeah, very important, but that's actually not too different to other games. You never want to concede goals, and if you are really focused and all that, and that's what we have to do. So we cannot ignore defending in this game. The quality that we get punished for sure. I have no idea if anybody in the world can deny Real Madrid from having any chances. So they beat us a week ago. Yes, we were not good, but a few days later they beat Barcelona in a very important game as well. So they are obviously in a good moment, and we have to deny that, and we have to defend on our highest level, and then we have to create as well. So that's it. It's nothing different really, but of course it feels always different. Like, yes, it's all this game starts with 0-0 anyway, but if they would go 1-0 up, whatever, then in a normal game you have to score 2 to win it, and to score 1 to get a point, the point wouldn't help, 2-1 wouldn't help. So that's the situation. We have to be 100% on our absolutely top level to have a chance to make it. But that's possible that we are at our 100%, so we should try it.
Okay, thank you. We go to Carl Markham, and then we're going to try Diego and Elias, but we'll go to Carl Markham first.
Hi again.
Hi.
You said last week that you didn't want really to be known as the comeback kings for games, for reputation you've got. But I'm just wondering, tomorrow is exactly 5 years today since that Europa League comeback against Dortmund, and obviously the Barcelona one features heavily. Do you use any of that as motivation for your players in the preparation?
Well, we will see. The boys know that some of the players were involved in these games and famous. Did I say I don't want to be known as the comeback kings? Okay.
Yeah, I think you actually said, it's not like I sit here and say comebacks are our thing.
Yeah, because you cannot take it for granted. So you never could and you never should. So that's it, pretty much. Yeah, true. So you don't get a comeback because you had a comeback in the past. You only have a chance if you play really good football in the present, and that's what we have to do. The best situation would be if you don't bring yourself in a situation that you need a comeback. But obviously that's not worth to talk about now. But the situation is clear. The situation is clear. That's why this competition is so interesting, because you have these rules like the away goal counts different and all these kind of things, and so that makes it really exciting. And we will see. And we should not concede. And if we then can create more than we had at Madrid, and that should be possible, because we didn't have a lot, then we will see what we get in the end. But it's not what I actually really mean. We cannot just take comebacks for granted, especially not without a crowd in the stadium. So, and we have to create our own atmosphere again for this game, and we will do. Will not do that today, or like that it constantly going off for the boys and try to tell them whatever kind of stories. No, we have tomorrow a full day, one session in the morning, light session, and then a full day to prepare us from a atmosphere point of view.
Okay, thank you very much, Carl. We've still got a couple to come from Dave and also Chris, but we've probably got all the hands up we can now for Jurgen's section. A reminder, Andy Robertson comes next as the Liverpool player. We're going to try Diego Plaza, if possible. Diego, see you sat in your car. Are you okay in English, or do we need to try the headphones?
In Spanish, please.
We can try these. Okay. There we go. Yes, it works. We can hear you. Fire away, Diego.
Okay. Buenas tardes, Jürgen. Diego Plaza del Chiringuito. Zidane dijo tras ganar al Barcelona que estaban al límite físicamente. ¿Usted cree que esa puede ser una de las claves a su favor en el encuentro? ¿Plantear un partido físico con una presión alta e intensa desde el inicio?
Well, the problem is, I think Real Madrid didn't win the competition that often with Zinedine Zidane because they are not experienced. They are pretty experienced, and these are all things. They're already part of the game. So that they have intense season and they have injuries. That's clear. Everybody can see that. We have the same. So we are on the same level. Nobody has to use that for any kind of explanations. So it's just late in the season. Crazy year with a lot of games and all these kinds of things, but the decisive part of the season is now, and I'm 100% sure Real Madrid will be 100% ready for this game, and that's what we prepare for, and not for what the team felt 5 minutes after the Barcelona game, which is obviously a moment when you really feel each bone when it was that intense. So they are in a good moment, and that's what we will prepare for.
Thank you, Diego. Before we just go to Elias next, we're going to go to Juan Ignacio, if you can be ready, but we'll go to Elias first. I'm not sure which language this is in, Elias, either English or Spanish.
English.
Perfect, thank you. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Hi, Jurgen. What's it going to take tomorrow to get the breakthrough to beat Real Madrid?
What will you need to get the breakthrough to beat Real Madrid?
To beat Real Madrid, you have to defend Real Madrid on your absolute highest level because their offensive qualities are incredible, and even that is then really difficult. The first goal they scored is a good example for it. That's for most of the teams in the world not even half a chance, but the pass from Toni Kroos and the first touch and the finish was absolutely incredible. And so even when you defend them well, and deny them a lot of things, then these things are still possible. For the next two goals, our percentage of involvement was too high, definitely. So we have to defend Real Madrid on a really high level, and then we have to create ourselves, and that's what we will try. That's it pretty much. I cannot invent any new things just because we are 3-1 down. We will use the usual tools of football, or we'll try at least.
Terrific. We go to Juan Ignacio, if you can turn your mute off. And do we need the headphones? Will this be in Spanish or English, Juan? Oh, hello.
Hola, Juan.
Juan, can you hear us? No. Okay, we'll come back to him in a second if we can. We'll go to Chris Bascom and then Dave Maddock. Chris.
Hi again.
Hi.
It was pretty obvious last week that was not the real Liverpool. I mean, is there a sense of pride comes into play with a game like this? You're playing Real Madrid, huge game. You know, even for one reason other than the final, that wasn't Liverpool the last 4 years for one reason or another. Is there a real sense that you've got to show yourselves now?
That's the plan. That's the plan, but it's look. It's how I said. It's all these kind of things in press conference. I have no problem with press conference. The only thing is that the only thing a press conference could be influential is in a negative way. That I give some phrases, headlines, whatever, and for them it's absolutely not. I don't like that, and we don't need that. I'm already completely in the mood for the game, and that means whatever we want in this tie, we have to show tomorrow night on the pitch, and not me here or Robbo later in the press conference or whatever. It's all about tomorrow night on the pitch. That's it.
Thank you, Chris. Dave Maddock and then Neil Jones. Dave.
Jürgen, from everything you've said, I kind of get the impression that you think if the real Liverpool turns up, and I think you used that phrase before, then you you do have the tools to beat Real Madrid? Because, like you said last week, they play in a way which sort of suits you perfectly. So I guess the question is, given the defensive problems that you've had, and you've spoken about how important it is to defend well, how does the real Liverpool turn up? Because it seemed last week you were a bit nervous because of the defensive issues and their quality in attack.
Yeah, so it's a difference to watch Real Madrid or to play Real Madrid, I have to say. So because the quality of the individual quality of the players is really high. If they obviously want something desperately, what was the case that night, and how I said, the first goal was a genius long ball in between two defenders, really difficult to defend. You are either way in the right spot or not. That's pure luck, and you can defend it, or in the end not anymore, how it was in our case. But the other two goals, we just didn't defend well enough. So the one goal, it was obvious. In the other goal, it's not about our defensive problems. If they have a throw in around about 15 yards in front of our goal, and they throw the ball there, and there's no challenge until they finish the situation off. That makes absolutely no sense. And that it starts already with that. So we have to change that. Why we were that night not exactly in the shape? Were we nervous? I don't know. The quality and the was quite impressive in the game, to be honest. But again, you only can stop them doing from what they are good at by doing the stuff you are good in on a 100% level, and that's what we didn't do that night. But if you do that, then everything comes to level, and then it's a much more interesting, exciting game, and that's the plan for tomorrow night. The plan for us is to try to win the football game. So, and of course, when we drew Real Madrid, nobody thought, oh my God, we shouldn't even try. But of course, and when we are really good, then we can beat Real Madrid. But we have to be really good for it. And that's the plan now for tomorrow night, that we really try exactly that. And if we can win the game, then we will see which result we have. Is it a 4-3? Doesn't help a lot, would be still a win. If it's a 2-1, it's not enough, but close enough to maybe score the third one. If it's a 2-0, it will be enough. So these kind of things, I don't know in the moment, but what we have to do is pretty clear. And everybody who saw us playing well knows what we have to do in these moments, because that's exactly playing like our best selves.
Thank you. Right, Juan, we're going to try you again. We've put you back on mute because we could hear you type right there. If you'd like to unmute and ask your question, and do we need the headphones? Juan?
Hola, Jürgen.
Yes, please. Bear with 1 second.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Juan Ignacio García Ochoa del diario Marca. Yo quería preguntarle por Vinicius Junior. No sé si les sorprendió en la ida, es un jugador que habitualmente no marca muchos goles, si les sorprendió su rendimiento en la ida y se ha preparado un plan especial para frenarle mañana.
So
I couldn't hear it now, but probably somebody can tell me later.
I'm not sure if we can actually. So, Phil, do you want to try that one more time?
Now I think now I hear you.
Yes.
Hola, Jürgen.
No, that's okay, Juan. Do translation.
Yeah, now I hear you.
Quería preguntarle por Vinicius Junior. No sé si les sorprendió en el partido de ida su rendimiento a usted y a sus jugadores, y si para mañana han preparado algo especial para frenar su velocidad.
I was impressed, not surprised. He's obviously an outstanding talent, and everybody knew it before Real Madrid signed him. But since then, it became obviously even better, and that's cool. Special plans, yeah. That's unfortunately the case. You saw the one goal I think we could have defended. The other goal, I said, was just a great long ball, and then great first touch and great finish. So yeah, we tried to avoid the passes in his direction, which is a big task actually. But impressed, yes. Surprised, not.
Okay. Final question to Jurgen Klopp, and then Andy Robertson will be in a few minutes' time. To Neil Jones from goal, and that concludes this part of the press conference. Neil.
Hi, Jürgen. Just wanted to ask about Kroos specifically. I mean, he's someone you've seen close hand in him coming through at Germany. Could you give an appreciation of him as a player, and how difficult is it to cope with him when he plays the way he did in the first leg?
Oh, one of the biggest talents in German football for a long time. He's a great player since very early, when he was really young, pretty early, signed for Bayern, got a loan for Leverkusen, came back to Bayern, played incredible stuff there, made then a kind of a brave move to Real Madrid, and became there one of the most successful club footballers in the world, with Germany together, world champion as well in 2014. So obviously quite a successful career so far, and not really old. I'm not sure, Tony might be 29, something like that. So there's still a lot to come. Quite a nice person as well, really relaxed fella, and so we don't know each other really well, but I appreciate him obviously for years already, or admire him already for years, because he's just a wonderful football player. Yeah, that's it pretty much. So, and his skills are obviously, it's like I'm not sure if you know Bernd Schuster, but there was another German player who played quite successful in Spain. It's a similar player, but Tony is probably even more dynamic, quicker in all the things he's doing. Maybe not a sprinter, but quicker. So a guy who is really difficult to defend, because he can change the game from really deep areas. And when he is higher up the pitch, then he is still the eye for the pass through the gap, or for a proper finish from distance. So yeah, nice package, to be honest.